Hey, how's it going? I hope you guys are having a good day, and welcome back to another KIKIN Reviews. This is the first part of hopefully 2 reviews that come out this week. Coincidentally, they're both horror related. I wouldn't consider this movie a horror movie, but it has horror aspects. The Ghostbusters series is a pop cultural icon. This series has been popular since the 1980s when it came out to even present day, right? So I can't really blame people for being excited for this movie. You know what? Anyways, let's get right into reviewing. While trying to settle into being the new Ghostbusters of New York, the Spangler family must come toe-to-toe with this new Unleashed Ice Ghost and uncover the mystery of the previous group of people that kept this entity away from the planet. Apart from one certain outlier, the Ghostbusters series have always been fun, action-packed movies, and Frozen Empire is no different. I felt the same watching this movie as I did when I was a kid watching Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I mean, the only difference would probably be that this movie is more PG compared to those first 2 movies. Now, quickly going into the positives, I want to start off by saying that this movie looks good. For some reason, movies have decreased in quality and they look worse than they did like a couple years ago. So this one doesn't look bad at all. I kind of enjoyed watching all the visual stuff, especially because this movie relies on heavy special effects. I really liked how some certain ghosts like Slimer and the Librarian still look like their counterparts in the first 2 movies. So like, you know how they were kind of practical effects, they still look like that in this movie, so it kind of keeps up the continuity, I guess. As a comedy movie, I feel like Ghostbusters does a great job of landing these jokes that happen throughout the movie. A lot of the crowd was laughing while watching the movie, and I gotta say, I did chuckle a bit at the jokes in this movie as well, so comedy lands. I mean, comedy is subjective. It doesn't take a lot to make me laugh, but I was laughing a couple times. The theater was laughing as well, so the comedy sticks. I also want to talk about Phoebe and Melody's relationship throughout the movie. Without going into too much detail, it's an interesting concept that they bring to the movie about Melody being a ghost and Phoebe being a human, and their interactions are pretty interesting. I do want to say that I wish they did a little bit more. Like, I wish they fleshed that out a little bit. What we got was enough to fulfill my desires, I guess. So that's a positive. So my personal standout of this movie probably has to be Paul Rudd. I feel like every scene that he was in, he felt so charismatic, and I really like this character being the teacher turned father kind of figure. He steals the show in every scene that he's in, so Paul Rudd was my GOAT. Close second was probably Bill Murray. Now, probably like this last positive that I want to mention is that I really liked how they expanded the Ghostbusters mythos, I guess. Like, there's a lot of concept that they introduce, especially the Mandy stuff, all the exorcism equipment that they have. I feel like that's the best way to put it. I feel like all of those little introductions that they have in this movie could serve a greater purpose if they continue this series, which if it makes enough money, they probably will. And I really liked what they introduced here. I really wish they did more, but as an introduction, it was great. Now, going into the negatives, I want to just say that there's one main thing that stands out, and it's that the middle act goes on for a little too long. I understand that this is necessary to like further the plot, introduce certain aspects that will be used in the end, but they could have shortened it a little bit, cut out a little bit from here, cut out a little bit from there, and it would have made for a more enjoyable watch. I just felt that middle part compared to the intro and the ending just felt a little too long. They could have shortened it out a little bit and it would have been perfect. The storyline that they decided to go through with the previous captors of the main bad ghost was interesting at first, but then it just kind of felt unnecessary with all the things that they try to add. Once you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I personally felt like it was bullshit. I guess it's cool to a certain point, then it just becomes ridiculous. Sadly, this movie did pass that point and it became ridiculous. I didn't like it by the end. It just felt stupid, and you could have tweaked it a bit. It could have been great. They didn't, and it just sucked. Going into my last negative of the movie, I really wish they did more with other ghosts. To my knowledge, I don't remember them doing a lot with other ghosts. They usually just fixate on one super bad evil ghost the whole movie, and this movie's no different. It's just the same as the other ones. I really wish they did more with like ghosts that surround the area. You know what I'm talking about? They didn't, and that kind of brings it a little bit more down for me. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is a fun installment in the series. Being a fun, action-packed adventure, its only faults were that it doesn't do anything different, and what it does do different felt kind of unnecessary. I enjoyed watching the film, and that's why I have to give it a 7 out of 10. It really doesn't do anything that makes this one better than previous installments, and that's why it just sits. I mean, I would watch it again with family and friends, but I don't know. I mean, I don't regret watching it. I felt like there was a lot of potential that this movie just didn't reach, Now, what certification will this movie get? It's the best part of the video that that not a lot of people watch anyways, but Ghostbusters Frozen Empire has the potential to be the blockbuster of, the summer, right? but it doesn't fulfill its potential. It's still an enjoyable movie, and that's why I don't think it deserves the blockbuster certification, but I'm fine giving it the Saturday night certification. It's a good movie to just put on with some friends, enjoy it, eat some popcorn. Perfect movie for that, and that's why it gets the Saturday night certification. So like I said in the beginning, this is hopefully the first part of 2 movie reviews coming out this week. Next movie review is hopefully Late Night with the Devil. I'm not a horror fan, but this movie looked cool, so I'm gonna be checking that out. So there's probably gonna be a review. Maybe there isn't, just depends on how I'm feeling. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. Like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. See y'all in the next one.